Rugby World Rankings, folks. After 2 rounds of the Rugby World Cup, we're going to go through the teams, how they are ranked after these 2 weeks, what are the possible permutations for the upcoming round, which has got some pretty tasty clashes, and you guys can let us know your thoughts on how fair or not the teams are currently ranked. Now, because there were so many mismatches, very little in the way of points exchange. Ireland, South Africa, France, New Zealand all had big wins. Well, France's wasn't that big, but none of them took any points off anybody because the gap between them and their opponents was so large. Scotland didn't play, so that's your top 5 already kind of done and dusted. England did take very, very marginal points from Japan. They were on 83.22, now they're on 83.24. So yes, it's a very marginal gain for England. Wales, though, are actually up a spot from 7th into 8th. And not because they did anything dramatically well in their kind of laborious win over Portugal. Well, no, I'm not giving them enough credit. They fought hard and got a bonus point at the death, but they didn't get any points from it in World Rugby Rankings terms. So they're still on 80.66, but Australia dropped below them. So Wales are rocketing up the table. They went into this tournament like, was it 10th? So yeah, up into 7th. Fiji, with their win over the Aussies, they're also up into 8th. It looks like they're on the same score as the Welsh, but I'm assuming there's kind of more decimal places there that we can't see. So that'll be why they're 7th and 8th instead of equal. But yeah, well done Fiji with your win. Up in the rankings and looking a better shot for the knockout stages potentially. Australia, well, they're down from 81.78. So they dropped some pretty major pointage to Fiji, and they are down into 9th. Everybody else, barring Japan, who lost those 0.02 of points to England, has not changed. Everyone else is exactly steady as she goes. So the main takeaways from this round is Australia dropped, and that sent Fiji and Wales up. Pretty straightforward. Now, I mentioned there are some big games this weekend, and there is no bigger game than South Africa up against Ireland. And that is the battle for the number 1 spot. It's the battle for the Rayburn Shield. If you don't know that, we did a video on the Rayburn Shield a wee while back. That's a massive game. It does not get any bigger in terms of pool stage games. Whoever wins that one is going to be the number 1 side in the world. I've already seen the Springbok sides named. 7-1 split. I'm looking forward to that preview video. Hopefully my voice is okay by that stage. We also have Italy, Uruguay. Italy can take very minor points. Uruguay can go up to 15th if they win. France versus Namibia, there's not going to be any points changed there. Argentina and Samoa can both go up a spot if they win their respective game. Georgia cannot catch Italy if they get a win over Portugal. Italy against Chile will in all likelihood see no change unless there's a miraculous upset from Chile. Scotland likewise can't take any points from Tonga, but Scotland could drop a full 4 points to Tonga. So Tonga would go 74.29 if they could get a win. And Wales against Australia. Wales can't quite catch England. The gap is just a bit too much, but it would be a massive win if they can get that in terms of qualification as well. And Australia could take that spot back from Wales if they were to get a win. So, yes, Wales and Australia is probably must-watch viewing this weekend for mine. But also South Africa, Ireland. I'm going to watch them all. But, yeah, you guys can kind of pick and choose. If you haven't seen it, Tony and I from Distracted Sports, and I chatted yesterday. Was the day before yesterday. All things Rugby World Cup on the old 2 Cents Gets Distracted podcast. My voice was in a better state of affairs than it is now. We did it remotely because he's got COVID at the moment, but hopefully next week we can break down some of these games face to face and go check out this week's episode if you haven't done so already. You guys take care of yourselves. Let us know your thoughts on the rankings. Subscribe and talk to you guys again soon. See you later.